Alright, everyone, welcome back to Brass Colossus, and our kind of second full session. Last time you did a bit of exploring. We visited some of your homes, and then dived deep into the ship's bowels, all the way down to the water reservoirs, and deeper beyond. Led by your fixer contact, you found the pipes that were leading up to Rickles' pub, and found that some goblins, in fact, had kind of done a bit of scrapping, opened up a hole in the side of one of the passages, but in doing so revealed a deeper place beyond. The kind of strange abandoned forge from long ago that you guys cleared out. They had kind of huddled in one corner, not daring to go much further because of the dangers beyond, but you did conquer it, and some strange things happened. Found a big old forge, which I do have here. This is the that huge engine you found at the end of whatever this place represented. This kind of strange room. And upon activating this, it seemed to power up some kind of teleportation device, which sent you to a room which I also can represent now. A room filled with inert Warforged soldiers. And that's kind of where we stopped, I believe. You guys leveled up. You were exposed to some kind of blast from the Frax engine that you discovered. So you're not sure what the effects of that are. Kind of feel tingly, a bit strange, but yeah, for now we left with you guys kind of with this discovery. And the other thing is that these are kind of marked in the same way that Corvix is marked. They don't there are kind of slight differences, although they do seem to follow a very uniform design, which does differ from Corvix. But yeah, battalions of these creatures here. I think that's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah, shout if I missed anything. Make sure you guys are level 2. And we're kind of picking up with you having burst through the teleportation pad into the room at large. It is a self-contained room, no other exits, some workshop tables and a cabinet or two against the walls, some pipes, this and that, not much more.
Well, I guess the only thing that's left to look at
Oh
are
god,
these.
look at this room, it's full of dust. What is all this stuff going on here?
I have such a bad feeling about this. Fuck.
Yep. Well, I poke one of the robots. Boop boop.
Nothing happens. Pretty solid. Looks like they're pretty completed as far as you can tell on the outside. Each one has kind of weapons and equipment and everything, like they're being outfitted for battle or something like that.
I'm also keeping one eye on Corvax because I'm scared he will touch the robots and activate the army of death or whatever this is.
Nice. Robot.
Are
those?
Sorry. Yeah.
These are work tables. There's a couple of cabinets in between. Yeah. It looks like they're like a small little side workshop as you kind of open up the cabinets. I mean, for the most part, it's strange tools and bits and pieces, parts, nuts, screws, bolts, rubber seals, things like that. You can see kind of the finger digits as well. This looks like a little mini repair area for some of these figures here. And the one on the other side... Yes?
Sorry. No, sorry, I thought you were done.
Oh, no problem. The one on the other side looks to have kind of probably followed a similar vein at one point, but most of the items have been cleared out of this one.
Are these all holding weapons like the design, or are they like just turned off?
Weapons, yes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, Corvix is not getting close to any of these. We will form a wall. Oh no.
I mean, you get the idea that the teleporter pad is active, so you could kind of simply step back on and it would reactivate.
Um,
How dusty is the room? Like, is it
Make an
covered in
investigation
dust?
or a survival check. Or perception would be right. Probably those three.
can I try to take one of these robots' weapons?
Oh,
Let's see if
now
I
we're
can
getting into the
find a way
real
to activate.
questions.
Yeah. Let's activate them. Let's do it.
So,
There are.
as Cole is looking how to make a fortune here, Valerie in the background, looking at the tables, looking at the workshop. Yeah, this place has not been visited in the longest time. However, there has been probably maybe one or more visits since this place kind of fulfilled its ancient purpose, and that is kind of trails leading from the whatchamacallit, the cabinet here, to the teleport pad itself. As you kind of take a look at who might have been involved, I mean, there's no like airflow in here, so tracks tend to stick for a while. And from what you can tell, it seems to be a larger, a large creature, heavy humanoid-shaped footprints, probably looks like he's wearing boots of some kind. There's a strange patterning on the soles, and then a much smaller set of feet, most likely gnome, maybe a small dwarf.
The tools at this bench, does it match the same tools that I found in my forge?
They would be of a similar vein, yes. Maybe some more you haven't seen. The closest thing I could think of is kind of like the specialty tools for like opening car engines and stuff. Like these are specific for the Warforge here, it would appear, and kind of working with them, connecting joints and things like that.
Got it. Okay.
Robot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was more-
I'll shove... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, you go ahead first.
I'm just gonna shove all the tools into my bag.
Sure.
I just want to mention I'm not even wondering about the making a fortune. I'm scared of fighting this many weaponed individuals, so I just want to see if we can disarm them peacefully.
So
But the fortune can come after.
it is difficult because the hands are stiff, but they are not kind of gripping with any kind of robot-like pressure. So you can kind of eventually pry out the weapon. Each one looks like it is equipped with a long sword and a long bow.
All right. I will start to just disarm them slowly, one by one, and just put them in the corner of their room, like right here, far away from them.
Sure. They don't move, react to this in any way. And you can see the bows aren't currently strung, so they must have kind of equipment packs on them somewhere.
Right, they can do anything with them.
Request that you do not disarm them. Why does there
Um,
purpose?
Well, if they have weapons, it's probably something related to hunting or killing, and I don't want to be a prey or a victim. So
They had been armed earlier, and you were not a prey or a victim. There is
Not
no
yet.
reason to believe that this will change.
fair enough. I will stop and go to the back of the room to disarm those. No, I want to look in here.
Sure, sure. It looks like... Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Valerie, you have... Well, as you are looking over, you also do see some paths leading north. It kind of winds its way around the creatures, and these look like they're just possibly the same smaller creature, but a small creature once again, no longer accompanied by this kind of large humanoid footprints. You would see they lead back towards the north. Cole, you would kind of pick up that they would end here. Looks like someone has squeezed out of here at some point in the past.
Quality check.
Avery, your laser is required. Going to throw your lizard down a hole here. No.
Oh,
Um,
oops, I mustn't slap so loud. Damn it.
Is there? Can I check the walls? Just wondering if there's any like
You
false walls or anything.
can, yeah, give me a check.
I don't trust this room. I'm assuming it's investigation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of pretty uniform metal panelings, and nothing stands out to you. I mean, as for the pipe, I mean, you've seen thousands of kilometers of pipes along the ship. Like, you don't know where that could lead. I mean, it could go to somewhere close by. It could branch infinitely.
Mhm. Well,
Anything
I
like
see
a
it.
control panel on the walls?
Okay, wait. Well, Sechi, you were saying something as well?
Not really. She's just like looking at the mechanical warriors, just kind of not entirely certain what's going through her mind. Just examining them, possibly thinking about herself as well in this situation, but
Fair. And
I think she's going to try and cast, well, she begins to try and cast, like, Sacred Flame on one of them, but then realizes that this probably will not do anything. And stops.
fair enough.
mean.
And look, the more you look at them, the more you start to pick out oddities that kind of would remind you of yourself. Maybe like a shoulder joint here, or bits and pieces, almost as if you hailed from the same creator, or some of the same parts were used, or something like that. There are very, very obvious differences, of course. But yeah, definitely going to throw you off somewhat. Valerie, you also saying something? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's any like a control panel on the walls or anything that might looks like a, I don't know, an activation station or something.
Unfortunately not. I mean, you saw a couple in that last room that were... through the pad, the teleporter pad, there was kind of a more advanced workshop there. You're not sure what this is. Maybe some kind of storage barracks or something like that. It's definitely sparse. No other entrances except for the pipes and such. Yeah, just kind of uniform walls and floors. But I mean, they are staying inert. So for now, they're not going anywhere. And it would appear that, I mean, as far as you're aware, this room was only just accessed, except for this other set of footprints or whatever that actually turns out to be. You guys are kind of the only people aware of this. Maybe also the fixer that's kind of waiting for you to sort out the pipes that are still leaking into the passageways.
Maybe this room's like the other room where you have to turn something on somewhere else to get things working.
Maybe.
We need to figure out the switch and never
These
touch
places
it.
always seem to be over-engineered.
Well, I mean, could I cast mending on one of these Warforged and see if anything happens?
Yeah, you totally can. That's interesting. So moving up to one of them, I mean, they don't show any obvious signs of being incomplete, really. They from outward appearance. look like they could wake up at any moment. As you cast Mending inside, it's hard to explain this. It's as if you're trying to fill up a very large, empty object, and at the moment, this is nothing more than that. It is just an object, well, for all its completeness.
So, in a way, it's like they're missing a sort of power source.
Something like that, yeah, or like a soul. You're not
Okay.
really sure how Warforged work, but yeah.
Got it.
This place is creepy. I don't like it. I walk out. I'm waiting in the other room.
Sure. And goblins, you can hear the muttering in the distance, but they are busy kind of finding out, going to find new homes that are not so dangerous.
Maybe that big battery is meant to power all of them somehow.
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
You're welcome to come back
Where was
as much as
the battery?
that was
Or,
back
I
in
guess-
the dungeon.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about
in the
the
forge.
Frox engine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
engine.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
kind of far from here. Or sort of.
It's not that far, is it?
It's a
Just
little
like-
stuffy.
If it was meant to power them, I would imagine that they would be active currently.
Maybe, yeah.
If there's any switch we need to flip
Yeah.
somewhere.
Let's see. Well, I mean, you have access to the whole building. You could take as much time as you need to look around or do what you need. You probably want to go back and get that fixer to do the pipe so you can get back, though. He was waiting for you. You don't want him to be harassed by the goblins.
That sounds funny though. Yeah. True.
Yeah, we should probably get on.
We can't let them get mugged.
Yeah, that's not gonna. I don't think Raquel's gonna be pleased with us if we get his friend mugged.
So, heading back into the maintenance tunnels, you do kind of find the goblins have. Some of them started messing with them. They quickly shuffle off, though, when they see you guys. Oh, whoa, that's way too inspirational. Hold on.
We find the fixer.
Inspire the
Whoa!
goblins to move on.
Yeah. You see him. I was getting a bit worried. I'm glad you arrived back, though. And he waves after them as one of them kind of pulls a rude sign in his direction, but he looks back. Am I clear? Is this safe to go ahead?
Yes, it's very
As
safe.
Safe as it usually is.
What did you find back there? It looks like they tunneled into the wall.
A hole.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just fix the pipes. It's fine.
Yeah.
Someone is welcome to give me a deception check on that one.
Sure.
Oh shit! Do you want to do it or should I? 'Cause
Not me.
My charisma is not that good, but I am always down to try. I'm never backing down from any checks. All right. Well,
Okay,
Oh
okay.
shit!
A round respectable 9.
Yep, it's good. It's not too bad down there.
yeah. Well, if he minds his own business, it'll be all right. Sure, he doesn't want to be get harassed by goblins and humans.
He'll
Yeah.
nod.
There's just there's a lot. There's a lot of dead goblins in there. You don't want to deal with it.
Ooh, no, not. With the slightest little thoughtful glance down the hole in the passage beyond, it does kind of go around a corner before it reaches anything of import. So it does kind of just look like a hole in the wall for now. He quickly moves on past where the goblins arrived, gets to work putting out all his tools, replacements. He'd probably be here for half an hour or so, he tells you. You don't have to wait for him, but I mean, he wouldn't mind the company if you're in the area. Otherwise, he's just kind of whistling as he starts to crimp the pipe and using all his special tools and reset it.
I don't
I'll
trust him.
just-
I won't stay here.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn to Wei and just like whisper, ask him, do you think you can maybe patch up that hole in the wall as well?
Oh, that's like me sized. I don't know.
I could definitely
we
do
wanna
it. We'd have to
do
get
what-
some supplies from topside, but it's not too big a job.
Okay, yeah. You know, we're just trying some stuff around here too. We can grab that, make it easier.
Do we want to patch up this hole?
Do you want someone else finding that?
I want to access it again, so I mean it's kind
Well,
of
with-
the duality of being here.
With the resources inside, sorry to interrupt you there. You could and you got a smith in the form of your gift companion here. You might be able to bang out some kind of door or something yourself, even.
Yeah.
Probably just steal one of the doors. Just like unlatch it and move it there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have leftover metal from when I made the door for my forge, so I could probably just go grab that.
Yeah.
And there's probably scraps of metal around here. Anyways, we can.
Yeah.
I'd be
Scrap
surprised.
Then. Oh,
But otherwise,
Perhaps there is an entrance elsewhere. If this was once accessible, it should be accessible again.
Did you say there was like a more advanced like workshop that we didn't visit yet?
you went through
Oh.
it briefly, but yes, there is.
I will gladly go through there real quick before I head out.
Sure. That would lead you to the area down here and the rooms beyond.
Okay.
While you see some of it is kind of dedicated to a more advanced, this is probably kind of where the prototypes were built, or kind of at least some of the Warforge were built. There's, as I said before, in the central room, kind of multiple metal arms that would drop down, offering quite a large amount of mobility, almost like an automated surgeon station, something to that effect. And it could probably be used to, I mean, it's definitely been used to build machinery. The creation of kind of Warforge and that are definitely is a bit beyond your grasp, but if you had to guess, it probably was kind of involved in that process. You would definitely be able to use it for advanced repairs. I mean, whatever other creations you could think of as well. But otherwise, give me any kind of check if anyone wants to look around, investigation or perception.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Okay, nice. 16,
Ooh,
17.
hell yeah.
So, you're not exactly sure how everything works here, but with the workshop itself, you start to get the idea that it's also got other capabilities, and you could probably, you might even be able to kind of work on and modify frax engines here in a place like this, which is usually something that people don't do. They kind of have found previously completed ones from the forefathers, that people that made the ship originally. So it's not something that is commonly known how to do it all. The hints of something like that even being possible, would be exciting. But if there's a place that could do it, it would be here. As well, Valerie, you also find along the wall here is a scroll shelf with some kind of some arcane notes, but also a variety of spell scrolls.
I'll pick up. I guess I'll pick them up. See what
Spell
they are.
scrolls are good. Always.
And yeah, don't forget anyone with that has a spell casting ability can use these scrolls, even if they're not in your spell list.
Anything interesting?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just getting it here. They do seem to be themed, and the theme is kind of from the school of gravity, affecting pull and push on things like that.
Ooh.
So I'm going to
That's
give you
sick.
a full list of those.
You don't have a wizard in the party, right? No one needs these scrolls to like scribe them or something.
No
Nope.
wizards.
All right, one-time use it is.
And see, unless somebody takes ritual casting.
Well,
I mean, spell scrolls always consume. I'm pretty sure that's the.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
That's
it's still
a-
good.
I mean, takes an artificer. I don't know if he can do anything with them.
And I don't have a lot of magic, so it might be nice.
Yeah.
I have the best type of magic. Gun magic. Pew pew. Just kill people.
The magic of nature is always the best.
It's the
When things get
circle of
shot.
life.
They're in.
In my other campaign, I'm playing a gun monk, and it's so fucking fun.
Oh, nice.
Unmonk.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's so great.
Okay, I think.
You have some wild dreams.
It is pretty fun, yeah.
Some of these you wouldn't be able to cast. Well, one of them. But otherwise, there we go. There's 3 magnified gravities, 2 immovable objects, and 1 gravity sinkhole.
Ooh,
Cool.
that is great.
That is. I have no idea what these spells do, but it's probably good.
Me either.
I'm reading on them right now.
Oh, those are all very good. Ooh, I like. Okay.
Maybe that's how all the stuff
the world.
floats. They just put gravity into the reverse direction.
Yeah, no, we're definitely claiming this whole area as ours now.
Yeah. So we should
What
make
you
a
mean?
flag. I look for cloth around.
I prefer a door with
decided.
a lock, to be honest.
Yeah, you
But it's
can,
like-
you guys can do
Yeah.
that. I'm making
We
a
need
flag.
big. Yeah, okay.
It's too
yeah.
late.
I'm gonna go ahead and head off and go find like get metal for a big door with a big heavy lock.
Nice. I mean, you'd be able
Is
to
there-
gather enough stuff around here to probably do it without any issue, to be
Oh.
honest.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. No, let's do that then. Yeah.
Is there like any cloth around here? Like, I don't know, from the goblins left around or anything?
How much do you need?
Enough for like a flag, like the size of a flag. It's probably pretty big.
Yeah, you could probably find some torn
Yeah.
Where?
fabric. Not the cleanest, but yeah.
It's fine. We don't need it to be clean. We can probably make the flag with the blood of the goblins, so we don't have to buy dye if you want. If you guys want, I'll be
Where
resourceful.
exactly do you want to hang this?
In the entrance, so they know. Probably like 2 skulls, so they know like we mean business. Maybe
Sure,
we like
why
pie,
not?
so maybe we'll call because of pirates, like no, I don't know, something like that. No.
If you
Are we a gang
desire
now?
deterrent,
I don't know what you're talking about.
if you desire a deterrent, I would think placing
Sorry.
perhaps a dead body or other remains of the goblins on a pike or some other instrument would be enough.
What?
Well, it's more also to show people
Yeah,
that people have been
but
here and it's
that's not-
claimed.
You do have
Yes,
access to 1
that is
crispy
effective.
goblin body.
Nice.
Did the goblins take the floating one with them, or is he still around?
They took him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think it was just unconscious
I
anyway.
think like that. I feel like that. What?
Ooh, breaking up a bit
You-
there.
Sorry?
Hello?
Was having some
Well,
storms here. Maybe they're hitting her harder. He's quite northeast of
I'm
me.
pretty sure Pick has mending, so I'll just pester him to help me with the fabric to like put them together. I don't know
also
how
has
to sew.
mending.
Oh,
I can
Whoever has
probably help
mending,
with
I'm
the sewing.
I mean, I have
But not
mending,
the
but
mending.
I can help. I can help you after I finish the door.
that's fine. That's what Tick is for. I'm just like, Tick, can you pick these together? Please, 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 please.
So you hear. Now, did you guys wait for the fixer to finish before you came back in here?
Yeah. He's not
Yeah.
coming here.
So you just
Yeah.
arc around in the passage for like half an
I
hour.
was on the day,
40
yeah.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah, we just discussed the goblins and while we're waiting
Yeah,
for
nice,
him.
nice. I mean, according to him, they're a nuisance, but they tend to not make too much of a problem in the official maintenance tunnels. There's kind of a tenuous, very tenuous, unspoken peace with the fixers, as they are kind of solely neutral, working for the ship. But as he does his work and departs, thanking you, looking towards the strange hole one more time before moving back to the main lift, which is about a 10-15 minute walk through setup. I mean, he asks you, you guys are
I
going to
would've-
find your way back.
Yeah,
We'll be fine.
I
Time to get lost.
I would have walked with him to the lift just to make sure he got there, and also to map out the route again.
Oh, that's kind of you. Sure, I could use someone to talk to. Yeah, he'll start to tell you some of the larger jobs. When one of the major reservoirs sprung a leak and kind of water was raining down on the land below. And besides that, that's like the most interesting thing that's happened, and he kind of keeps referencing it back and back again. But yeah, in the meantime, someone's getting to work making a door.
yeah, I will.
Do you have any? Sorry, I didn't mean to rush you through that. Valerie, do you have any questions for him while you are walking and talking? Anything you'd like to bring up?
No, I'd probably just I keep on hearing about problems with the reservoir. Do you know what caused the leak?
He will go on. Well, I mean, well, what I heard is that the ship wasn't wasn't increased. Its altitude wasn't increased in time, and we got clipped by one of the mountain tops.
Oh, that's bad.
It's we don't have the finest control over the beast, as he kind of runs his hands affectionately against the wall. But we can at least lift and fall. It's the only way we can get close enough to gather some of the precious resources from the ground. Wood and other minerals and animals, new creatures. There's a lot that can be scavenged in the short amount of time. But we've got to make sure we rise up again.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to crash into a full mountain.
He nods and kind of goes off into another story, and eventually you do reach the lift. There's a couple of other people there that are organizing something with the group of druids that watch over the reservoirs and gardens here, but for now he would just wave goodbye and head back up to the top side.
Yeah, I'll just wave and then go back to the group. But make sure nobody's following me.
Sure. And then while the process of kind of hammering out the metals, heating them up, and all of this jazz is taking place, if anyone else has got any downtime activities they're going to be doing, or if they're kind of leaving for now to go back upstairs or anything like that, you can mention it.
I'm making flag.
Making what?
Also, a flag.
Oh, yeah.
I'm making the flag. I'm sure it'll take me a while, because I'm not very artistically inclined. Also, kind of a random question that just popped up in my head: is wood more valuable than like metals in this like ship, because you can only get it from the outside, or is it still like less valuable? Just wondering, because
Wood is quite valuable, yeah. There's only a certain amount of it, and they regularly, when they go over forests, what they do is I mean, the ship's so large that it's not really bothered by dropping down these hooks that just scrape and stab into the trees, ripping them out, and then they pull them up, and that's kind of how they get lumber. It's not done, all the time, though.
Yeah. I just was wondering.
All right. So, our blacksmith, Wade, do you want to give us a tools check?
Sure. What would the ability for that be?
What you could argue for a bunch of them. Strength, probably the default one.
Okay, yeah, I can do strength. Let's do this.
And I'm sure you would get guidance, is what I was going to say. Someone here has guidance,
Oh,
right?
wait. That's right. I have advantage on all strength checks because I'm a GIF.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, guidance
Ooh.
actually probably wouldn't work here. It's only lasts a minute, and this process is taking hours.
Okay, there we go.
That's much better. Okay. Yeah, and a pretty stable door. With that, you're able to make a fairly simple locking mechanism. You're able to provide everyone here with the knowledge on how to unlock it. Otherwise, it will be a DC 16 strength ability check to get it open at the moment.
Got it. Okay.
Quick question. Immovable object. Is it a permanent spell?
I don't believe so. What's the problem?
Oh wait, there's just sorted duration. Yeah, it's an hour. Sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Yeah, I just saw the duration. I just
Okay,
thought
cool.
it would be cool if we cast the permanent immovable object on the door.
So the next, so as the process of creating this door goes underway, it takes a couple of hours hammering metal, and you kind of finish off probably around midday, early afternoon, as you kind of look at this large construction and kind of starting to what's the word? Fight with the process of actually getting it to the doorway itself. There's a strange, you kind of feel the similar feeling from being in front of the frax edge, kind of like a warmness radiating through your body. It's hard to explain. You can almost kind of see the little particles of dusty, beautiful yellow light floating behind your eyes as you stare at the door. And for a moment, there's a slight glow around your hand, Way, and the door suddenly halves in weight.
Oh.
And it's kind of very, very easy to lift up at this point. It's with someone of your strength, at least, compared to what it should be.
Let's hope that doesn't make it easier to open.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Nah, sure, it'll be fine.
You feel like this is something that you did to it yourself. And this is probably a manifestation of the result of being exposed to the other engine in the top right there.
Got it.
Because it wasn't working. Wasn't working like 100%, and it was kind of leaking a lot of light that kind of flew and just seeped into the room, like light dust, kind of that encompassed you all. So. Some effects seem to be manifesting in some form, but for now, you're not really sure how that worked. As you move it through the building, it kind of gets all the way to the stairs before the effect runs out, and it suddenly gets heavy once more, like falling to the ground. It seemed to last about a minute.
Okay. Once I get the door up and settled and everything, I want to go back to the engine room, and I want to look at the big one more time before I leave.
Okay. And what check would you like to make here? You can make a tools check if you want to. Yes?
It's not necessarily a tools check. This could be very stupid. I want to go up to the engine and just hug it and see if I can get like any radiation.
Nice.
And you got cancer. Nice.
More radiation.
Roll for cancer.
Shit. Yeah, I mean it's warm. It's calmed down and it's fairly stable at this point. It did kind of kick into life with quite a lot of chugging, and you can see the gears and everything rotating around it. Quite advanced machinery. Yeah, I mean nothing but just a further warmth from being close to the machine.
Okay. All right, that's all for now. I just wanted to.
You should go to
see
the
if I can
doctor.
get. Yeah, no, just to see if I get anything a little bit more permanent happening to me. But that's fine.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, I'll join up with the rest of the group.
Well, you guys now have a lockable door, so at least this place can be kept somewhat secret. Although there is now a new door there, so there is that. But you can always go and you can increase the defenses somewhat at another time or whenever you like, really. What's the plan for now, though?
We should probably get back to Rico.
Your report back.
Yeah.
Sure he wants his guns back.
Nah, he's not getting them.
Yeah.
It's mine now. I've called it Jerry. It's mine.
He did say maybe we can cut a deal with him or come to
Maybe.
an agreement. So
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Well, I mean,
We will
does that mean
see.
you're heading back to the main lifts?
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
everyone else is done.
Back to the maintenance tunnels, smoke, water rattling, steam hissing, kind of looking left and right. You are not too far away from the main lifts, so thankfully you do not experience any kind of ambush from some of the wilder creatures or roving gangs, scrappers, things like that. You do make it safely back to the lift. And are you going topside or are you stopping somewhere else? Oh, you said you're going back to Rickles, so you're going back to the city and back to the pub, the Hive.
Yeah.
The Hive, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go back. It takes a bit of time. You emerge into the kind of bustling city brass. Let's see, here is my... yeah, so midday, or a bit later, it's probably about 2 p.m. at this point. You can see heavy smoke, cloud drifts kind of covering the buildings here. As looks like the ship itself is flying through a cloud bank and moving through the streets. It seems to be a day like any other, as far as you can tell. You can see the most people just kind of hard at work, stalls selling varieties of goods, whatever can be scraped up from the ground, as well as scrap from the areas. The crazies kind of preaching the downfall of the brass Colossus. Any day now, we're going to be struck down, left on the ground. Kind of all kinds of crazies that build up over time. When you can see the Hunters Guild corralling new cloudfish. Otherwise, as you guys head to the Hive, let's see here. I don't know why my music's not playing. Is there any... I mean, Valerie, you are greeted by a couple of faces here and there. You're still quite well known, of course, and have garnered a fair reputation for yourself, at least of listening and trying to be understanding. And strange group, nonetheless, as you make your way through the city, something does catch your eye, Valerie, as you're used to kind of always picking up or taking a look at the slate handouts of the Brass Times. There is an interesting headline this day. I'm trying to get it to load. I don't know why my handouts are. So I think a storm's messing with my internet. I'm gonna find the original, put it on Discord. 1 second. Trying to make sure this is the right one. There we go. All right, here we are. Loading. I'm just going to reload my Roll20 because everything's bugging out. But yeah, you see the brass times there. And I mean, for those of you who are not interested in reading it, would you guys like me to read it out, or would you like to take your time to go through it?
You can read it out if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Whatever is easier for you, but you do see the headline, Taps Run Rusty. All over the city brass and beneath, residents have been complaining about the strange taste in the water, and it started about 10 days ago, but came to a head yesterday as citygoers reported rustworms dropping from the pipes into one of our local taverns. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but next time will we be so lucky? The owner, who was asked to remain anonymous, says he has already hired private security to deal with the matter. And in other news, murder on the streets of Brass. A local Aerogard resident met an untimely end yesterday, found bleeding, and kind of leads off to one of the other stories here.
Private security now? What?
We've been upgraded, I guess, or downgraded.
Shit, it's better. Probably better. I don't know.
Well, easy enough to make your way over to the hive. Now, as you do, let's see here, Cole. As you're about to kind of head in, the others go in front of you, and you can see a figure leaning against the front of the building, and it catches your eye because they got that. They're trying not to be noticed, and they're pretty good at it, and it's kind of reminds you of someone who works the streets nearby in the flues. There's a flick of an eye and the small kind of movement of the arm that kind of indicates the like a nod, like come over.
I will approach, like scouting the area, making sure I'm not getting ganged. That's not ideal.
Give me a perception check.
Perception. There you go. Bad rolls today. That's fine.
Okay. As you approach this figure, now they are. It's quite a scruffy, messy individual. Missing a couple of teeth, has not taken to the fumes as well in the flues, and is definitely kind of sickly. They typically haunt around. This is a bit further away from the flues than they generally travel. And as far as you're aware, you just know him as Buzz. But he will lean forward. You hear what happened? Elbar. And you recognize the name that he just mentioned. I'll put it in chat. Elbar. That's the individual that helped you when you got nabbed with those sticky fingers a day or two ago.
A good person. What happened to him?
He was a good person. Turns out he picked the wrong pocket. There was some kind of altercation. I'm not sure what went down. But the person that he mugged was some fancy toss from the Aragard district. One Culper Finland. The father's all up in it is, and has pushed for maximum charges. There wasn't much to argue about. They're taking him to the Skyhooks today. In a couple of hours, in fact. They're gonna just drop him.
Well, you should know who to pickpocket. I always told them to be careful. Is there any plans on what to do about it?
No, I'm just so you have done jobs with him in the past. I was just checking to see if you had heard anything.
I was on a job. I was away from the. My ears weren't to the ground.
Say, give me a deception check. He's not too attentive.
Yeah. All right. I'm very good at deception. All right. That's.
Nice.
Hopefully
I mean,
that's
he
enough.
doesn't react as far as you can tell, but he does kind of nod and push off the wall. Um, I'm gonna go watch myself. It would behoove you to maybe pay some last respects as well. And you're aware what he's talking about is it's kind of like banishment. It's pretty much the worst. There's no execution, there's no like capital punishment here. The worst you can get done to you is jettisoned effectively. They'll put you in a little container, lower you to the surface, and open it. You have a pack, and you start your own life on the surface by yourself.
Oh, he'll be fine then. I'm sure he'll find some nice people to help him. I'm not good. I don't feel guilty though. It's
Cool.
fine.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Sure.
he heads off and just kind of. I mean, you're welcome to head into the hive if you wish.
Yeah, I will. Walking a little bit less less enthusiasm about everything.
Fair enough. All right, back into the hive. There's a group of minotaurs here this morning that are making the place quite rowdy, but other than that, it is as welcoming as it ever is. And the proprietor, the kind of one-legged, no antennaed Thrycreen that has originally hired you. You can see he's moving hard and fast behind the bar with the prosthetic leg puffing on every step, sending out these plumes of dust in each direction and light. As it's working hard, he is serving a large crowd tonight. But, with this day, it is already quite busy as you guys enter. He nods to you all, gesturing that your booth is available.
I'll get off my pocket food finally, or my bag food. Finish my meal.
You're welcome to do so. The small little makeshift workshop that your tinkerer artificer was working with, nothing too fancy, just kind of his previous projects, some left lying there. Otherwise, you are quickly brought, or looks like Avery's going to fetch you drinks maybe.
It's what I'm best at.
Easy enough. Around on the house, and he will get. He will kind of speak to you as soon as he is available.
Got it.
Okay, it looks like we're gonna get a kobold joining us soon. Anything you guys want to? Are you simply kind of waiting for Rickle to be done so you can have any discussions? Yeah, there's a kind of family group of minotaurs, maybe a birthday or something. They seem to be celebrating one in particular.
Sorry.
Yeah. Can I look around for something that I didn't realize I would need? Is it possible that I might be able to find or have been able to find while we were down below, a gem worth 100 gold for one of my infusions? I think it's the only one.
I love that. Sorry. Say yes.
That is definitely a flag.
And homunculus, let's go.
Gem worth 100 gold pieces. Let's see here. Make an investigation check.
Or can I use or could I have used the Frax engine I found as that component?
The crystal crabby thing.
You're gonna try use the Frax engine. That's quite interesting. As it. Now, what are you trying to use? What are you trying to bring to life? Is it a homunculus or something? A servant or?
Yes, I'd like to spend over the next time we rest, spend the time because we leveled up in the middle of the day. Fucking around with a new little design, a new little clockwork lizard fella.
Sounds awesome. You definitely could. And as you would try to make use of the engine in some capacity, and let's see here. Give me. I want some kind of check from you. Tinker's check, intelligence ability check, arcana check.
Could I give him
I
the
think
help action?
I think those. Ooh, cool.
You can totally. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Cool. I was gonna say I think those are all the same for me at this level.
Fair enough.
Because I don't have expertise in it in anything, so I'll just do Arcana as a Tinker's Tool check, and I'll roll it with advantage.
Okay, 14. And as you are trying to, I mean, most of this machine is quite far in. It's more advanced in some ways than the other Frax engines you've worked with, but you're not exactly sure how this affects its output and what exactly it does. It is definitely connected to the local machinery. With that, though, there is some kind of strange effect that does take place, and you find that it will replace the material component and pretty much powers the creature itself with a pulse of energy. It kind of glows momentarily with the same light that the Frax engine does, but comes to life without any kind of gold or monetary components on your behalf.
Hell yeah! I shove it in there. It's a tiny construct. It looks like just a little four-legged lizard, which, if we were in the down below times, would be reminiscent of a drake. It can fly though. It has a little bit of flight.
Nice.
That little, just like, I guess, I don't even know how it would fly. Probably a little bit of levitation in there, just like a bunch of fans underneath it that kind of oscillate it constantly.
It has a flux engine, maybe.
Yeah, you can see this one is kind of able to momentarily oppose gravity on itself and kind of take flight. as the Frax engines do provide, because I don't know if you heard the part earlier, Tick, where Way did something strange to the door and he made it kind of he halved its weight.
I did not. Very cool.
So this seemed to be a result of the strange blast that you were all subjected to when that Frax engine turned on down there. Alright. So do with that information what you would. Otherwise, you would see Avery come back with drinks. There's a fair amount of people here, so Rickle will eventually get to you. Are you happy to while away the time until he arrives? Or is there anything else you want to get done here?
I'm just rectifying my infusions. I grab that one, and I make a little matching clockwork helmet for myself. That is my enhanced defense. If somebody hits me in the head, that's my +1 AC right there on the head.
Nice.
So aim for somewhere else. But yeah, I'm just tinkering away with this, seeing all this cool stuff that we saw underground.
Yeah.
It's got ticks, for lack of a better term, gears turning in his head.
Fair enough. Well, eventually you find your host does arrive. Apologies, it is swarming in here. You can hear like the Minotaurs are very loud creatures in the background, kind of larger than life. 2 chairs have already been snapped, and they've kind of had to bring in the reinforced ones, which didn't have enough of. But yeah, so downstairs, well, in the bowels. How much are you going to be telling Rickle?
That's a great question.
Oh, it was awesome. We saw all these things. I say it all very excitedly.
I think we can share with him. If we can trust him, then we can trust anyone. I mean, I don't trust anyone, but also should probably trust someone.
Well, so I mean, you're kind of saying everything you found.
Yeah, I think we are. Unless someone is objecting.
I do not think that we should share this information necessarily. It is kind of him to send us to the place where we found this information, but he also does not necessarily need to know. In fact, most of the patrons here do not need to know. Do you not fear that if someone here knows, that the information will not spread?
Sure, the flag will deter them.
Can I make an insight check on Rickle? See, is he a gossipy bartender? Is he a stoic, cleaning glasses bartender? What's his flavor of bartending?
I feel
He's
like
a
all
very generous
bartenders
bartender.
will talk for a price. I think that's like a bartender's like stereotype.
So
Can you just
he's
not say anything about the. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm saying he's definitely kind of a listen. He's got a melting pot of people coming in here at all times, and he's built up a little kind of almost. You would hesitate to say spy master, but maybe something in a similar vein where he's got kind of roots in the individual strange communities.
He's a newsman.
Yeah.
Yes.
He knows things.
We don't want to give him the story of the day then.
I think it's fine as long as we don't say anything about the entire battalion of Warforged. You know.
Or the new Frax engine we found.
Yeah,
Activated.
that too.
Let's just keep that on the down low for now. We don't know if we can trust him yet.
Okay. So, tell him you found this place, you kicked off goblins, and you put a door in it, pretty much. He will listen intently to what you have to say, and nodding where appropriate. I think I would like someone to give me a deception check, just because you are omitting certain details here.
I'm down to. If anyone. I'm a good liar, don't worry. There you go. Oh, it's not bad.
Okay, 14.
You're better larger than me.
Just gonna make an insight check here.
Watch that 20 coming in.
I'm gonna roll it privately.
Oh no.
Watch that 20 coming in privately.
He doesn't seem to react in a way that you can tell. Just listening with aptness as he looks around at the group. He will. Well, you are all. I'm glad you are back, and if you wouldn't mind, I know we. Let's see here. How do I phrase this? I think hold on to the weapons for now. And if there's possibly work in the future, I might have something for you soon. And if you wouldn't mind hanging around, at least, making yourselves available at some point.
Yeah, I've got time. I'd like to help.
I'll need a couple of days to put something together, but for the meantime, feel free to come back and you guys can have, for the time being, let's say, while you're not on active duty, we'll give you 50% off meals and drinks here at the Hive.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
He nods.
You know.
Yep.
Just because you've been so nice. If you ever need anything from the Forest District, come find me.
I might take you up on that. I have a couple of fittings here and there and pipes that could do with some replacement. I'll get the boy to give you a description of the parts. He's one of the teenagers that he hires. Otherwise, he would go out. Is there anything else you want from him? Yep.
Actually, Valerie will just stop him and just later, if you're not too busy, can we maybe have a conversation in private?
Of course. Yes, I'm. Anytime, really. And do you want to do that in whispers? Do you want to do that in front of the party? How do you feel like? You want to play this, Valerie?
Oh. I don't know. I don't know how to do this.
I think let's let's say we take an early toilet break, and then we can just have a quick chat in whispers, and you guys can go grab some coffee, things like that.
That sounds
Cool.
good.
Okay,
Sounds good.
okay.
Right back.
Okay, works for me.
All right.
All right. So you interested? Rickle pulls you aside into the back room, telling the serving kids to scram for the time being. Fairly well organized area with kind of decent stock here as well. There is a bit of a trapdoor down to a cellar, probably where he keeps most of his alcohol reserves. But he turns to you and all right, we're as safe here as anywhere.
Okay, thank you. I am. Well, I'm not good at. I'm not charming, so I'll just say it. My partner, ex-partner, he told me that, well, basically, you know things. You know what goes on in the ship.
I can be known to obtain information. Yes.
Well, do you know anything about, well, do you know of the corruption in the wardens?
I wouldn't put it past them. I haven't looked into anything like that personally. That's quite a serious accusation. Do you have any names?
I was hoping you could maybe help me find a starting point. I'm looking into some stuff,
Okay. I'm aware of certain. I'm sure I haven't heard the whole story, but I'm aware of the recent loss amongst the brass wardens, and I apologize for what you have suffered with this. I do not begin to pretend that I understand what you've been through, but I think I will look into this for you. Got one or
Thank you.
one or two friends that owe me a favor still.
I may have some. Oh, it's probably just a thread. I don't know how helpful it is, but above table. What's my father's company's name? I don't think I ever named it. Do you have one for it?
Let's see here. So I think it. At this point, he'd
Well, I think this
probably
afternoon.
be a bit more than a singular business. Kind of having, being a businessman and getting his hands in a whole bunch of pies, he would most likely be involved with with kind of production in a large scale. And maybe some of the more. So you'd probably have like 3 or 4 businesses that were the main ones, kind of producing fancy things for those in the Aragard district. Maybe kind of something pretty offbeat, like a shoe factory down in the city, something like that. But,
Okay, Oh, there you go.
no, as for a name, we can think of something if you want to put a name to it as well. But yeah, what else would you like to ask about?
Unincorporated.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I'm terrible with naming.
let's see here. What was your father's surname? 'Cause you have your mom's surname, right?
Yeah, I have my mom's surname. I'm Stein.
Stein, that was it.
Heck.
It's probably something like something around there. Stein Incorporated. Stein Forging. Stein something. We will come up with it and make a name. Are you asking
that's fine.
Rickle anything about your dad?
I may have been given a bit of information that some of the members of the whatever his business name is, they may be, what's the word? They might have a hand in this. They're somehow connected to this all. I don't know who. I just got this information yesterday. I'm still trying to sort through it. They've got so many members, but some of them have a hand in this. Some partners of them.
Dangerous enemies, young Valerie, that you are accruing under your belt.
I know, but somebody's got to look into this.
Seems there is no love lost for family, at least.
She'll go rigid when he says that. Is it that obvious?
I wouldn't say so. I don't think you're anything like him. I just, I like to research the people I hire. I didn't dig too deep, enough to find out what kind of person you are. But it would seem you put that life far behind you.
Yeah. If it means anything, I haven't considered him my father in a long time. For all the truth, I think my father died a few months ago, so.
It's hard to bear. Also, I know what it is like to be away from one's hive. It is difficult, but as you see, I've made a new hive of myself here. Perhaps you shall make your own. Thoughtfully, he will nod, but I will take you up on your offer. We shall discuss price when I'm aware of the information that I have to work with.
Of course. But I don't want to put you or your people in danger, so just be careful, please. I don't want any more people to die because of this.
Not a problem. It's what we do. And you might want to keep an eye. There's a certain elven fellow at the bar that's been quite interested in watching the door where you and your group are. Arrived not too short after yourself. And he'll open the door somewhat and point out the individual here before.
Just want to make sure is he watching at our door, the door we just went through, where the party is?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, at the moment,
Can we?
in fact, he would probably surreptitiously be trying to look and pop glances towards the storeroom as well. So he's definitely aware of the fact that you've come back here.
As we go out, can we pretend I asked you something about he's a Cree, right?
Thrycreen, yes?
Thrycreen. Can we just pretend I'm asking you questions about your culture, like your languages and stuff? It's believable. I like languages, so I'm curious about that.
Okay, he walks out, nodding, and all right, my dear. The Thrycreen aren't tricky people, but I think that's the gist of it. He kind of walks you back to your room while having this conversation and puts you back. Shall I take you to the rest?
Yeah. Also, can I just that person? Do I recognize them at all?
No.
That elf.
Okay, throwing you back.
But it's like if one finger is missing, it's just a feature. It's not a bug. It's a feature.
So, Sumi, feel free to as well to go get some coffee and stuff. You didn't really get a break, but as Rickle escorts her back, he nods to you guys and heads back to work.
Elves. Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, you can see Sumi looks maybe a bit concerned or definitely pensive.
Inside check. Fuck this.
Go for it.
Do I roll a deception or
Let's see
persuasion, or what do I do?
he gets.
First
Yeah.
one,
Oh,
nat
damn.
20.
Goodness.
I think you need to roll the deception, right?
I don't think I could beat that.
You don't. I mean, are you trying to hide your feelings from your party?
No, I guess Valerie isn't very good at being deceptive and stuff. She's more stoic than she will be deceptive. So you can probably see that she's somewhat upset and maybe a bit. Yeah, she's upset. I'm thinking hard about some stuff.
Okay. I won't say anything about it. I'll just clock it for now.
Very well. Well, I mean, sitting down, you guys are given a kind of celebratory meal. You've been told you could hold on to your guns for now, and I mean, otherwise, so Rickle is unaware that there is some kind of large, ancient, powerful forge down there, and whatever seems like you guys have a couple of days downtime for whatever you want to do, whether it be kind of getting immersed in the city, doing your own investigations. There's many things to be done around here. The shops and the activities and the games and sports and such. All open to you for the next couple of days till the next job rolls in.
Nice. What kind of sports do they play in Floating City?
You gamble on them.
Gravity ball.
It's kind of like what would you call it? You know, like that old Aztec game where they knock the ball through the hoop high up on the wall. But
Yeah,
basically,
and they like
Oh,
hit
nice.
it with their hip.
yeah, kind of
Like
that.
in the El
except
Dorado?
that it is just like that. Except that you'd use small little gloves that change the ball's orientation of gravity to try and kind of.
Sick.
It's just a burst, so it only lasts. It kind of like catapults it effectively. It's not like a straight trajectory. And yeah, you
Hell
have
yeah.
your teams and throw it around and stuff.
Well, that does sound very fun. I think I'd like to catch up with the fixers. I did get a business card from somebody whose name I have in my notes. I will pull it up in just a moment if somebody else wants to go.
I would like to I talked with you about a little bit. Is there like a underground fight club? Or gladiator pits?
There is definitely a whole variety of the darker side of the city brass, mostly in the kind of sub layers under the city itself, that only the fixers and the Thieves Guild and people that are looking for darker dealings would go to. You could Cole would probably know who to ask about it.
I feel like Wei would probably know about it because he just wants to get money. So he's probably been there at some point, or at least tried finding it.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, you could definitely, if you had your heart set in it and asking around, it's not kind of hard illegal. It's not like the Brass Wardens are waiting to break it up, but it's not sanctioned in any way, so people kind of keep it on the down low. If you wanted to, you'd be able to find they're constantly moving the location. you'd be able to find the kind of passphrase to the next. You gotta go into this alley, go down this grate, kind of sketchy in that way.
Okay, yeah. I'll talk around, find out what's going on, and I'll head over.
Sure, you can do so. And what did you say? Are you kind of looking for like fist fights or weaponry? What's the deal?
Either whichever one gets more money. Honestly, he just wants to get as much gold as he can. So if a fist fight gets more money, then that's probably where he's going.
Do you share this with us, or do you go alone?
Oh, that's a great question. I would probably tell. Who would I tell? That's a great question. I'm not telling the cop.
Cop, come on.
Anymore.
I mean,
Right. That's what you
You don't
say.
even know I'm a cop.
I don't want to
You
be
guys-
mean, but
you're
once a
supposed to
pig,
be
always a pig. That's
Mm.
me.
And
Oh, that's just mean.
A little bit.
I would probably tell Corvix that I'm gonna head out for a little while, but that's it.
Yeah. I want to gamble on you. I want to put money on you.
Yep, you tell the
Should
one who's not
probably
gonna.
inquire, like, I guess.
Is that a valid occupation?
Scouting mission or just general, I guess, like what you were going out for.
You
or
know,
any
just
big
some
location or
window shopping.
a journey to acquire more equipment.
Yeah, exactly that. Yep.
Very well.
Well, making the necessary inquiries, you are able to. It takes a bit of time. It's probably going to take the rest of the afternoon. Now, are you just trying to make some money here? Is that the idea?
Yeah, just make a little bit of money.
Very well. They do have. If you're looking for fist fights, that's usually much more relaxed than what else they got in terms of kind of like animal fighting or more brutal, like to the death or to seriously wounded. You would be able to put your fists down. Now, is there any special abilities you want to bring to bear to get the edge on your opponents, or simply raw strength?
Making them half weight. No.
I have my spells, which should be enough. They won't let me have a gun, which I understand.
Yeah.
You can take a necklace. You have a necklace if you want.
Gun to a fist fight.
I
I
do
don't know
have an
who-
amulet that I use it as my spellcasting focus.
Well, who took the clockwork amulet?
I don't know. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
I should be good. I can roll advantage on strength, so it should be fine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. I'll leave my like weapons behind and I'll head over there.
Fair enough. Okay. And as you find kind of moving through underground pipes and through clouds of steam, as you're kind of moving into the skeleton and the nervous system of the city itself, all around you, you do hear the kind of cries of the bloodthirsty. Eventually, you find yourself in a place that kind of looks roughly like this.
Oh shit! You already have something ready.
What's it called?
No comment.
Some people have kind of set up bars here as well. You can see a kind of what would be like an upper balcony area where there's a couple of nobles that are watching from behind opaque screens, being kind of waited on. There are crowds around the ring itself, and you see what looks like a minotaur and a dwarf duking it out at the moment. Blood hitting the sand. People are cheering. It's probably what you're looking for.
Yeah. No. This is exactly what I'm looking for.
Well, you're welcome to
I'm
throw your lot in the ring, depending on how hard you want to go. I don't know how much of a name you would have made for yourself. Would your character have kind of be a regular here or relatively new?
I think he would like drop by every now and then when 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 he realizes he doesn't have any fucking money. So I think he would be known, but not necessarily, like a main event card. He just someone who pops up every once in a while.
Fair enough. Basically, you were just born big boned and you're using it to get money when you need it.
Exactly.
Alrighty.
He's not necessarily strong. He just kind of presses his weight into people.
Yeah, no problem. So, let's see here. To avoid a full-on fist fight, I think we're just going to have you make a couple of checks, contested checks here against your opponent. We can go into kind of more in-depth fights in the future as well, and especially if you kind of want to move up any kind of ladder, because you're not kind of going in and picking the biggest guy, are you? You're just looking for yeah, okay.
I kind of like, I hate to say it this way, but I'm kind of looking for someone who I know, like, oh, I could kick his ass.
Nice. Yeah, there's a couple of people here look like they've had the sense beaten out of them, and like you, they come back for some gold, but you think it's probably for like the consolation prize, and then they use it to go get drinks and such. And picking one of those, you'd be able to start throwing your weight in the ring. I mean, these people all fight, and they're all kind of crooked noses and bloodied fists. But yeah, let's get a set of athletics check from you as you begin to square off here.
All right. Here, so I'll throw my first one.
So he is going to have a +5 to his athletics.
Damn.
See here. That is a natural one. Wait, I'm still whispering. Okay, so yeah, it starts off very badly for him as you begin to take the lead early on. You can see him trying to put up some defense and trying to recover his stamina, but as you get the advantage and try and push it, any tactics you bringing to bear here in the combat?
I think he would just probably try to push him into a corner, so that way, because he's so big, he knows if he can get his opponent into a corner, he'll have literally nowhere else to go.
Nice. All right. As you begin to try and push him up into the edge there, you can see the people around you enjoying a good fight at least, and give us another athletics check.
All right. That as good, not as good.
Is that with advantage as well? Okay, yeah, it is.
That was with advantage.
Just double checking there.
Ooh.
He gets you with the old pocket sand, kind of scraping it up from the ground, throwing it into your eyes. You find yourself momentarily blinded as he charges into you, head butting, kind of right in the chest. Momentarily, you feel kind of your wind disappear. Let's have the final check for the decider here. Best out of 3.
If it would, I'm already rolling with advantage, so I don't know if it would necessarily do anything, but I would, after I get hit, I would hit him with I'll cast Searing Smite as I hit him with my next punch.
What is that going to do exactly?
I think I just add like a D6 of fire damage.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And you can do it on unarmed, eh?
Let's see. Next time you hit your creature with a melee weapon.
Yeah,
I don't
think it counts.
Unless you got some brass knuckles on.
No, it's fine.
I'm
If
sure
these two babies are martial weapons.
A Fight Club Paladin by now, otherwise.
If that's fine, then I'll just hit him. It's fine.
Sure. I mean, anything else, you could always belabor the odds in your direction, and lowering the DC or raising this or that.
Would
Talk
Shield
about
of
his
Faith
mother.
help me at all?
Oh, is that going to give you 2 to your ACs, right?
Yeah. Yes, 2+2. Yeah. So I
let
don't know
me
if that would like lower
see.
DC on your end or anything.
Yeah, I could say that could cancel out the 2 proficiency he would get, as you kind of make yourself harder to hit. Let's get a roll from you.
All right.
Oh wait,
Here we go.
don't roll yet. Don't roll yet. Don't roll yet.
Oh shit. There.
Has
Sorry.
it happened?
Well,
No, that's fine. Okay,
yeah.
well,
it-
you are successful. I was gonna say I wanted to ask how much money you wanted to put down on this.
Oh. Oof. How much gold do I
Right
even
now.
fucking have? I have 15. I'll put 10.
Okay, no problem. You do manage to take him down as you covering yourself, just overpowering him, catching him with overwhelming force, pushing him to the ground. Very quickly, the fight is over, and you are declared the victor. The kind of winnings are gathered up. You are given a small fraction of what was collected, as well as you're given your 10 back. You're given his 10 for entering, and you're given a cut of the earnings here, which is going to be a further 25 gold. So a total of 35 GP.
So I add 35 to my inventory.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, great. Yeah.
And kind of not making too much of a name for yourself, but definitely a beginning of something. The more you fight, the more you can challenge the larger challenges. But yep, for now, what is someone else doing?
Cole is trying to sell his paralyzed, paralyzed. I don't know how to say paralyzing poison
Okay.
that he got from the spider, giant spider.
Okay. Let's double check here. It would definitely be of interest to some of the figures in the darker side of things.
Mhm.
Let's see poison prices here. Okay. So, I mean, that's relatively unheard of. It has to be tested. How many doses did you get? Are you aware?
Ooh, yeah, you told me to.
2 doses? Okay. I think for now he'd offer you 25 gold per dose.
I'll take it. That's a good price. I wasn't expecting to get anything out of it. I don't care if I'm getting scammed. I'll take it instantly. No haggling.
Very well.
And I would try to look. I don't know if I would know this or I would have to ask around. Do the people get banished? Do they get to take whatever they want with them, or do they just get whatever they give them and they just get kicked out?
I mean, you can take personal possessions, yeah?
Then I would try, if possible, to give Elbar something of mine. I'm not sure yet. Maybe like a coin, like a lucky coin or something that I had, just so, like as a memorial. And in the future, if I need to find them, there's always the slim chance
So,
to like.
I mean, that would mean going to. Are you going to head to kind of where he's being kept? You know, there's holding cells by the skyhooks.
I was more hoping to like try to pay someone to sneak in there and give it to him, or I don't want to be involved with it. So like, I don't know if there is a some or is there like a service for that? Probably in the underground.
You can always find people that want money for something if you know where to look.
Mhm.
All right.
So yeah, I would do that.
Easy enough. And they would. What are you telling him to? What are you passing on?
I will give him. What's something of mine that has a significance? It's not. I'll give him probably like a cheap ring that I got passed down to me by my family. I don't have anything significant yet because it's only been a few episodes, but it's probably like a ring that I had been wearing.
Fair enough. It will be passed on.
All right.
Okay, and some of the others, you would be aware that this is taking place. At least it's not very often that someone is kind of banished off the ship. If any of you wanted to head over there there's always spectators to kind of see the machinery in action. To the macabre interest in watching someone. It's like attending an execution, effectively, but with less blood. If any of you wanted to go for any reason, you would know how to get there. It's not too far of a trip from the northern corner of the city brass.
Go to do some downtime stuff if we head that way.
You can do downtime.
Sounds like a good day trip.
whatever you like.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll pass by then. I think it's rare to be able to just have a full view of like the world below. So like, I'm imagining like Game of Thrones Sky Bridge type thing, or Sky moon door. That's what it was, where they like open the floor up and you just like see down a keep.
Definitely. I mean, I haven't watched that, but there's definitely something similar. I can imagine as you see.
Oh, yeah.
You see the land open up below you. You're above the clouds. You can see forests and trees, and for the most part, plains, long sweeping hills into the distance. As you can see folks gathered, guards around the local kind of holding area. Warehouses, hooks, and buckets, and everything kind of adorn this area. Grates leading to storage tunnels, things like that. This is where the skyhooks, where they dredge for materials, where that's pretty much it, and banish people as well.
Sweet. I think as a race of people who are just inside the ships, I think it's just super cool to see like all the greenery passing by. I think Tick wants to see what the dude is taking with him, like as he's being banished. He said they're not just thrown naked out into the wilderness. So like, what sorts of things do people take with them when they leave the ship?
Fair enough. I mean, he's not being. He is imprisoned, but there is windows to the outside, and guards are present. But you are allowed to interact with him, and there is a kind of modicum of vigilance, as he's not to be set free or anything like that. But yeah, the land below you at the moment, from what you can see beyond the plains, it starts to get pretty rocky. You can imagine that the ship is going to be ascending almost immediately after dropping this figure off. I didn't have this one uploaded, so I'll put it in Discord of the kind of a general idea of what the landscape looks like currently as you are looking out over the side of the ship at the moment. All right.
That's nice.
But yeah, he's going to be the whole procedure is going to take place in an hour or two. You're welcome to stay and watch it. You're welcome to do whatever you like in the time being. You can see a variety of figures come for various reasons, whether just interested in the spectacle, or you can see there are crews of people that work here and operate the hooks and such, and a little small community that's kind of made their own lives at the edge of the ship out here.
Is there any like brochure like, hey, come watch some guy get thrown off the ship for X and Y reason? Why is this guy getting banished?
Yeah, they definitely.
Or you had said he stole something. Sorry, I kind of missed that.
Yeah, about that.
He murdered somebody. He was tied to. There was a noble found from the Eragard district, a noble's child, by the name of Kelpa Finland, and this was. I mean, you guys don't know more. Your characters don't know if there's any connection at all. But randomly, a noble was killed, and this was the guy convicted of that, according to the Brass Warden's investigations.
Cool. I'm gonna yell out, "Hey, did you do it?"
It was an accident. I merely meant to just knock him out. I didn't know he would die. You can see the guy's like pale and he's freaking out a little bit. I mean, he's about to begin his own little survival wilderness lifestyle.
Cool.
He'll be fine.
I'm gonna say if you find any dragons out there, tell them. I'd love to see one. Tell them to find the ship. Just out of
That must be like a crime to incite a dragon to come visit the ship. Somewhere it's meant to be written.
Yeah.
It must
I
be
don't think
written
they've-
somewhere.
I don't think they've been like seen for a super long time, so it's definitely just like there's no zoos on this ship, so that's the closest thing to being able to see a real life dragon if they still exist out there. Tick would have is he doesn't know many people, many kobolds especially, who leave the ship, so he's shooting a shot.
Fair enough. And I mean, that is also one of the kind of underground, not so much underground trades, it is almost impossible to garner, but creatures. There's a big trade for creatures. Those scooped up from the ground below, cultivated, anything from even insects. I mean, some like them as an alternative protein source, but some keep them and sell and trade animals. There is quite a lot of that. Or what can be obtained at least. But yeah, this guy
Cool.
is getting, you see him kind of be brought out, everyone gathers around as he looks nervous. He's like full on picks, weapons at his side, everything, all holstered, and at the moment his hands are bound still. But they do release that as they put him into the kind of the bucket there. Not the bucket per se, it looks like this. Are my handles gonna work? Ooh, it might. Let's see. Does anyone see that?
Nice. It's like
I
a
do.
diving bell
Um,
almost.
Yes. You'll find
Yeah,
it-
Tick waves at him
Yep.
as he leaves. Like bon voyage. Like
Hey.
lucky him, he gets to see the great land outside of the ship.
He watches you through the portal as they load him in, and there's a hatch at the bottom that's going to be opened as they go down. They will start the process, yeah. There's a small kind of reading of his crimes. Albar is convicted of the murder of a noble son, Kelpa Finland, and he's been sentenced to make his way separate of the city brass. There's kind of a moment's pause, and then they begin the process. They do offer him kind of a chance to say one last, say anything if they'd like. Looking around, it was an accident. I didn't mean to. And he kind of, you see him break slightly, with fear of what's to come. But they put him inside. And they begin the process. He's very quickly winched down there. You can see everything has been stopped today. None of the hooks are active, none of the buckets, just for this procedure. And very soon he becomes a tiny speck as the hundreds and hundreds of feet of chain unravel, lowering him down to the surface. And he's just a black speck that kind of runs off to the nearest trees and disappears from sight underneath it. And that's the last time that Albar is ever seen, at least for now. And the ship continues, never slows. You can see it's starting the ponderous journey of lifting up into the air to overcome the height of the mountains that lie above, lie ahead. When people start to disperse, talking about what happened.
I see Corvix shows up, and Tick will ask her what she's getting into.
Observing.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm heading over to the gnomes at the place, the flues. If you want to go for a walk.
For what purpose?
Oh, you know, a little update on a little dungeon delving expedition. We saw some interesting stuff down there. You know, I think I really impressed them in that bar when I killed that worm.
I see. Please do not divulge any information that would be overly sensitive.
Yeah, Scout's honor.
Perhaps I should accompany you.
Oh no, it's fine. I got it. I'm just trying to, you know, maybe get an internship. Maybe they help me with some of my designs. Boring stuff.
That is not boring at all.
All right, let's go.
You're convinced.
Tick's got a map that he's holding upside down of the ship, and he's headed towards the flues with a business card in hand from Merkin. And as soon as he sees a gnome, whenever he sees gnomes, he just puts it in their face. Like, have you seen Merkin, a gnome about your height? Knows talent when he sees it.
There is quite a close-knit community, but so you can very quickly be directed towards Merkin. You would be kind of immersing yourself in the blues, the kind of more oppressive atmosphere, the darker areas as the smokestacks block out what little light there can be. But for the most part, once you get past those living on the outskirts, quite a cheery place. For the fixers, at least, who have kind of made this their home. You are heading straight to Merkin. Is that the idea?
Indeed.
And yeah, you can find a bunch of fixers that are having a bit of a meeting around the table. As the door is opened, Merkin is told that you're here to see him. He kind of comes out. You're the honorary fixer. Yes.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that honorary fixer badge, but if it got lost in the mail, I'm actually staying at Rickles' place, so you could send another one, I guess, maybe. He looks pleadingly, with little kobold eyes.
And what would you do with such a thing?
I don't know, put it on a mantelpiece, kiss it probably every morning.
We'll see. Is there a reason you've sought me out here?
Yeah, I just got up to the surface recently, and it's been a doozy so far. I was just wondering if you need any help around. I've got tiny fingers as you gnomes do, possibly even tinier. I could really stick my hands in gears and whatnot. I'll really do anything. I just want to belong somewhere.
He will look just a slight bit uncomfortable at the amount you're sharing.
I hold up my drake with both hands. I made this. Do you like it?
It's kind of like pushing it up into his face as his head's tilting backwards, so he can actually see what you're holding.
I think it has like a extension cord out of its mouth, like a tongue.
Nice.
And it's panting. I made it do that.
This is your new homunculus you just made, is that right?
Indeed.
Quite impressive. Does this have a frax engine inside of it? It looks like...
Oh, it sure does. Show him what you could do, buddy. And I'm going to just throw it in the air and watch him fly around at his speed of 30 feet fly speed.
Nice. Kind of angles himself like a helicopter would when trying to move forward. And it becomes quite apparent that he's not using wings or anything to fly. There's kind of this repulsion effect that's keeping him up. Oh, marvelous. Perhaps you actually do have... I'm impressed. Yes. And what is your kind of end goal here? Let me ask you above board.
Yeah, I think Tick is from a warren that like the goblins were doing, kind of subsist off of scavenging, and then selling that scavenge for good things instead of selling it. If he finds like a pristine screw that isn't fully stripped, he'll use it. So just the idea of coming to the surface and being able to make things with not hand-me-downs, not scavenged things is great. So I think he'd like to join a fixers guild. It seems like our cleric has a forge that he, associates himself with. I think Tick is looking for an association. He's looking to get in.
Nice. Sure.
Help out with this and also understand what's going on around this city, because other than Frax Engine cool, I'm going to put it inside of things. He's kind of just trying to make cool gizmos,
So
but
just
if you can get in with people.
Yeah, just to clarify one thing though, as far as you're aware, your creature doesn't have. You never put a Frax engine inside of it. The engines themselves, while they can be modular, and you've seen ones that are small enough to do so, they're exceedingly expensive, and you never put one in. It would seem that just exposure to this device, which is not something you fully understand, has empowered this beast. So it does seem to have the same abilities as a Frax engine in some capacities. But just so you're aware of what you're doing.
I also have one in my inventory that we got from the spider.
Okay.
Large Frax engine.
Because that.
Large Frax crystal.
Yeah, so that's the crystal itself. You might be able to do some interesting things with that. But it's not the sum of. You're going to need more components to make an actual engine. It's definitely something you can work on. And it's something that would be one of the interests here, so it's definitely the right place to be. You'd have to kind of see how things go, but you'd definitely be initiated. You'd be kind of brought back in the evening, taken to a dark room with with other gnomes that have bags over their heads. It's kind of like picture like college initiation vibes. And
sure.
You're made to do kind of like weird repair jobs and see how well you can fix things, bring things to life. Yeah.
Am I getting hazed by these gnomes?
There are a couple of other gnomes that are looking to prove themselves. You get the idea that you're going to have to fight extra hard to be accepted here, because you don't see anyone else that is not a gnome. But you're given the chance.
Oh yeah, Tick will get deep in the shits. Like you'll crawl on all fours with a. It's like I'm imagining like a fucking like a Spartan race course where you have to run with your freaking like wrench in hand. He puts his wrench in his mouth and goes on all fours like a freaking lizard. He's having a ball at the prospect of all this.
Nice. It's like mind and bodies. You got to be fit enough to get to all the tunnels and stuff. So like climb up the rope, then fix the small device that's broken into its gears and parts, and then keep going, climb under this. But various trials and tribulations that I'm sure with your steadfast conviction and dreams to push you on would pale in comparison to the drive here. Now we'll get to exact specifics of what this can entail, but you just kind of get it at a base level, really. You would see that there's a lot more to the Fixer Society that you would have guessed. They even have kind of their own semi-religious sect, known as the Engine Seekers, that kind of are the most zealous towards figuring out the exact workings of Frax engines and such.
What's their deal? Like they're so there's like a main Frax engine that's what powers the ship and like keeps it afloat, and that's what the fixers are mostly working on.
It's one of their larger projects that they manage, yes. Yeah, it'll be like managing the brain of the ship. There's not much to do there, but they make sure everything's spick and span. That's where some of the engine seekers as well study the consoles, try to make heads and tails of things. You probably wouldn't be allowed there yet, but if you showed aptitude, you could work your way towards it.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to join. I wanted to join a frat, I guess, a fixer frat, and here I am.
And this will.
This is a success for Tick. This has been a complete success. So as far as I'm concerned.
Awesome. and there will be kind of access to some of the sub-tunnels and things like that. But that can come in time as well. As for, well, do we have anybody else that has any interests around the city currently?
I think I had accompanied Vic for at least a bit to their meeting, and also had interest in like the fixers, but for different reasons.
Okay. Would you like to do anything while you're in the area?
I'd like to inquire about, I guess, more of a historical sense, trying to get some sort of information or history on the Frax engines and mostly inventions that have been made in the past, I don't know, 50 or 100 years um, by the fixers, or I guess whoever would be best at answering those sort of questions, get pointed in the right direction. So, information gathering.
All right. So,
All right.
let's start. What would your first line of questioning be?
Mostly I think first to just get a idea of current technology, like current inventions, recent things that they've been working on, or recent discoveries, like kind of the biggest improvement to the ship, or biggest thing they've discovered thus far.
Okay. Well, yeah, in the recent years, that would probably be the lifeboat hangars. That they've managed to fix those ships and learn how to use the machinery and more effectively than, because previously they just had the sky hooks and the buckets and all of those chains and goods and over there. Now they can send teams down to the surface. In terms of and I mean, yeah, it has improved just general use of the Frax engines to quite an acceptable level at this point, as you see them incorporated into everyday life, into now kind of even slightly mundane things, um, as they have been around long enough to kind of truly become part of society here. In terms of like taxis and, for example, like Rickles' prosthetic leg at least.
And these items were not available prior. They had not found any of these items being used in this way or for these purposes.
What do you mean exactly by that? Like, yeah?
Like, they hadn't found any vehicles or other, like, kind of, I guess, advanced technology and just revived it, or these are like completely new usages for like the Frax crystals or engines themselves.
Yeah, these would be completely new uses. The people have. So the ship, it seems, would have been made to be like kind of, if you could call it like an ark in some respect, but not infinite forethought was given to the people's lives that would exist here. So none of the Frax engines that are currently being used in society, I mean, they'd be used to power the various ships' functions. And beyond that, there were a multitude of spares and kind of others for less important subsystems that have been cannibalized by the people at this point and being used to improve their own lives in various ways. Transport, floating gardens for more space for agriculture, things like this. They will
Alright.
ask you in return. Do you were you created here on the ship? Did you meet the ones who made this, the brass Colossus?
She'll try and recall, I guess, if she's
Give me a history
met
check.
anyone like that far back.
16. Very nice. Still, for the most part, hazy. Like a story you've read but have put away for a lifetime. You kind of are starting at the end of where you woke up and try to tease the threads in order to kind of move back and see the beginnings. Now, as you put your mind to it, there's kind of a flash of images. You see maintenance tunnels, metal rooms, places you don't necessarily recognize. And the last place you see is the forge where Wei found you, in fact. And that's kind of the only place that looks familiar in any sense. But it's all fragmented. It's definitely still it's still kind of muddled. It's not ready yet.
And then she'll mostly just describe, I think the forge where Wei is. And that's about all she can remember. Not exactly historical, but technically in the past.
Oh, so you were found in a forge. I mean, I imagine you wouldn't have told them like where it is or anything. You would have said it was a private place or something to that effect. Where you were found.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he is very happy that you told him this. It's so much that we need to learn. So much yet lies undiscovered. You would... Let's see, looking towards you, and he's kind of just trying to take in your countenance. Is there any further questions that you would have for him on the history of the place?
Have any others up to this time looking like her other Warforged been discovered?
There have been a few. I'm not sure what's happened to them. I know of one who still lives in the city brass, but most make their own ways to the subsystems and maintenance levels.
Interesting. And they have not been heard from after they do so?
I mean, it's a rare occurrence. I believe it's only happened 2 or 3 times, but not, as I can recall, none have returned.
That is very valuable information.
Yep. Glad I could help. One works out by the how would it be named? The side of the ship opposite the sky hooks. It would be, if the ship was, it would be like the western side. I'll give you a better name for it. But it's the platform where the sky hunters do their docking and the cloudfish herds are kept.
All right. She'll note that. And I guess one last question would be, when was the last major assault upon the ship? She just assumes that there's been like fighting and like possibly war happening or something.
Well, the only things we really have to deal with are nature herself. We haven't had any attacks from large creatures in the last, must be about a decade at this point. You'll find the most dangerous things you come in contact with are the rapscallions of the darkness, or the monsters that sneak around and live in the bowels of the ship. There is no war here in the Brass Colossus. There's no one. We are everyone.
Then there has been no contact or assault from down below.
Do you mean from the ground?
Yes, from the lower world.
No one lives on the lower world. It's filled with nothing but animals, and we've seen the odd ruin now and again, but there is no society.
That is inconsistent with what I understand. I have only recently seen one of the citizens here lowered to the lower world. Were there not more of them before this?
Oh, you mean the banishment, nasty work? Well, I mean, you're going to find over time a fair few people have been, but they'd be in separate parts of the world, and there has been once or twice when a group has decided to leave together, but the chances of coming across these people again as the ship continues its voyage is infinitesimally small.
I see. Well, then I shall focus my efforts on the threats upon the ship rather than the threats below the ship. But it is worth noting that if there are individuals on the lower world, it is possible for them to develop societies, and with societies come weapons and threats.
As much as we know, this is what drove us onto the Brass Colossus in the first place. Our ancestors fleeing war and strife, but you don't see any of that nowadays, thankfully. And he will urge you to return whenever you like, and the whole time he's talking, he's like walking around you, kind of inspecting, not in a, I mean, unless you kind of feel uncomfortable, he's trying not to be that intrusive. He's kind of keeping his distance, but marveling at the handiwork that went into creating you.
No, she doesn't mind. She probably like just keeps track of where he's like going, but
Sure.
more in a defensive sense of like, is he going to go get a weapon or some sort of tool or yeah, I don't know. Just making sure that he's not like trying to take her apart or like some sort of attack, I guess. But if it's all benign, then yeah, she doesn't care.
All right. Yeah, I mean he's mostly harmless. And then moving on to one of our other players for now, who hasn't had a chance yet. We've got a couple of you that still have a bit of downtime activity, as the group seems to have momentarily kind of split into their various ventures into the city. What we have Valerie, Avery. No, you guys haven't done anything. Am I missing someone else?
Not yet.
Well, as the group splits off from the hive, you're welcome to simply stay behind and make use of your 50% off discount. Otherwise, if there's anything in the town, or like heading back, you guys both have homes relatively close nearby.
Yep.
Wait, Avery would like to do something, or can Valerie?
No, you can go first.
Okay. Valerie is gonna pretend she's like reading through those scrolls she found. But as everybody leaves, she is just clocking that elf at the bar that Rickle pointed out to her, and just what does he do when anybody of a party like walks out? Does he like take notes or something?
Let's see here. You kind of position yourself in a way that when the door opens, there's you kind of just your face is pointed in that direction. Naturally, you can see he does seem to, or she does seem to take note of the comings and goings. Yeah, just nothing more than a brief flick of the eyes.
Okay. Valerie is then if everybody's leaving, she'll also go out, and then once she's outside, casually just try and slip down an alleyway to hide and see if that individual follows her or stays in the bar.
And you head out into one of the nearby streets, and kind of moving past. It's still like mid-afternoon or so. And you can see that it's probably going to storm tonight, but making use of the busy crowds kind of trying to slip away. Let's see here. I want you to give me a stealth check. And seeing as, let's see, and you're moving down one of the, oh jeez, okay. Natural 20.
I love not being a paladin.
You do see, as you duck behind the corner of one of the buildings, this figure does leave and follow you. They lose sight. You can see they try not to be too obvious about it, but they're gonna just generally look with no luck.
I'm just gonna. I'd like to, from a distance, I really don't want them to know I'm watching them. I just want to see where they go. If I can recognize maybe who they're working for. Any clue. Even if it's just to see what shops they go in, where they stop,
Sure.
who they talk to.
Sure. Yeah, with your stealth check, I mean, keeping to the side, you are, you're able to follow him from a distance and keeping an eye on him. You can see that he does one or two circuits of the block, kind of just casually trying to be casual, keeping an eye out, and then he heads to the taxi services, and it looks like he intends to ascend up into the Eragard district. Are you going to follow beyond that, or are you just going to see if you can kind of follow the taxi as far as possible?
Yeah, I just want to casually try and follow the taxi with my eyes and just see in which general direction it goes in the Eragard.
Okay. It does ascend. I mean, it doesn't go to kind of where you would suspect your dad to be immediately involved or something like that. In fact, it disappears around the back of it, so you can't follow it the entire way, but you're aware of some of the noble families that tend to live on the on the eastward side of the Eragard district. It's not where you came from, but they're all kind of rich nobles all over the place there.
Okay. In that case, if she's pretty sure she's not being followed, keeping a watchful eye, she'll go back to her apartment and just like start. It's, you said late afternoon?
Yes, at this point, it'd probably be getting about 4 p.m.
Okay. Well, then in that case, she's gonna go home, and after, checking on her plants to see if some of them survived, she'll probably close the curtains and then lift up that secret porch, What's it called?
Like
Well,
where your stash is?
The panel in the wall. Yeah, I'm just gonna lift up the panel in the loose panel in the wall to bring out my detective board and start going through all the stuff information I got in the last 2 days, trying to like making lists of all the people I know live in that district, and making a list of all I know of my dad's known partners and stuff, and trying to compare who's in the same list and stuff, trying to get some clues who might be suspects.
Nice. And around this time is when the second strange event takes place, as you are busy making notes, putting up pins, or however you're keeping track of things. Kind of say you're using little nails to keep your notes ordered.
Magnets.
And as you go to put one of these magnets, as you're going to put one of these magnets on, the weight suddenly grows, and your hand is wrenched downwards, and you drop it, and it slams into the ground and sticks there. You kind of bend over to tug on it, and it's doable, but it seems to have kind of doubled in weight.
Huh. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yep. And you feel like you've got this kind of the same warmth, the same like fuzz that hit you when you turned on that machine down in the arcane, that ancient forge. You're effectively concentrating on this, and you feel that you could cause this effect to stop.
I'll try and stop it.
And the magnet returns to its regular weight. She's just wondering. She'll try. Yeah, I guess she'll probably know it's from the machine, but she'll wonder if. Nah, she'll guess it's from the machine. She'll just add it to the list of some of all the new weird things that's happening to her. She's not even phased at this point. Fair. All right. And that'll bring us over to Avery. Do you have anything that you would like to do in the downtime? Are you going to get some work in with your gardens, or what's the idea?
Yep, well, I'm gonna go home, do some work on the gardens, and then write a quick letter back to the main family, just letting them know the generals of what happened. Let them know about the scary spider thing, about some of the goblin troubles, and then I'll just get Fletcher to deliver it, because I don't want to get called in to go home and get stuck there again.
Fair enough. And I mean, it's never-ending. The gardens, it looks like they have doubled in the amount of weeds, and I mean, even up here, the craziness of the kind of airborne seeds, ones that birds bring in with their feces and things like that. It's a never-ending job to kind of keep the plants that you're growing in ordered areas.
For some reason, everything grows really well. Especially the weeds.
And let's see here. As you are starting to kind of feel the strain, you've already done quite a bit today, and you kind of got to get. It's good to feel the sun on your back, even though it is mostly blocked by the clouds. You can feel the heat warming you, and as you kind of lose yourself in the very calming gestures of raking, hoeing, digging, manicuring plants, keeping everything in order, you feel your burdens kind of lighten. In fact, you yourself feel lighter as well. As a strange tingle goes through you, you find that your weight is suddenly about half as heavy.
Oh, this feels wonderful.
Much easier to do the work, kind of like you're being held up by...
Got a spring in my step.
Yeah, totally.
I knew being underground was bad.
And you find that you can actually jump twice as far as you normally could.
Well, that certainly makes doing work easier.
Although it very quickly comes to a stop at the 1 minute mark, and you find yourself in mid jump. Very quickly, gravity catches up with you, and you kind of slam into one of the nearby planters, really knocking your knee pretty badly. But otherwise, besides taking a bit of kneecap damage, ooh, that might be a crack. You begin to, kind of feel the remnant strangeness fade away.
Yep, that's not ideal. That was a bit odd. But nothing a bit of food won't fix.
And with that, you each kind of have your own separate night. Is there any plan for meeting back at a certain time or anything like that, or you kind of wait until the next job comes in? Which do you guys have any ideas? If you're just going to be, sorry to interrupt, if you're just going to be waiting for the
Yep,
next
I
job,
would-
you'd have like 2 more days of downtime or so, and we could, think about what you guys would do with that.
I would probably get back into my normal routine of gardening and going there for dinner.
Perfect.
Yeah, Cole will probably as well abuse the 50% off.
Nice, you become a regular
And
just drinking.
yeah. Yeah, drinking and eating there.
Awesome.
Wade would probably work on that armor and just try to get as much as done as he can in his downtime.
Okay. Yeah, you building your plate piece by piece, right?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely can do.
Just hoping I don't have to report anything more.
Well,
Valerie would,
yes.
no, Valerie would also just be. She'd try to get a few odd jobs. So if anybody watching her, it would look like somebody just trying to get on with their life. But she would also like every night go back to the tavern, see how everybody's doing, and keep an eye out if that elf comes back, or anybody watching her, or them.
For the moment, yeah, and we'll get into all of that as well. Is anyone going back down to the arcane pool? Oh yes. What are you doing, Sechi?
Yeah.
Alex?
I was actually just to answer your question. Did the door ever get made?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
installed.
Then yeah, should probably return down there.
It's a nice place to be, and there's its own kind of strange way. The beautiful mechanics around you, and it is a place to go for some solitude as well. Although in a strange way, you can kind of feel the weight of all your sleeping companions, brethren. Not kind of sure what they are to you. Don't know how you would take it.
Probably more like brethren, and I think that's probably why she's attracted to that area. But she'll probably spend more and more time down there. Maybe even just like camp out there.
Nice, like moving through the rows and rows of your silent brothers.
Yeah.
Quite poignant. So yeah, if you guys want to catch Corvix at any point, he's down with the others, and just trying to figure out the meaning of everything. And who? Let's see. Well, I've got a list. I'm taking down what you're doing here in the meantime. Get that going. As for our tinker, Tech, what you got planned the next couple of days? Are you gonna try and get in more with the fixes? Do you have any specific?
Hell yeah,
plans?
I'm going through freaking like engineer boot camp right now.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, boot camp can be done.
I'd like
did
to.
wa-
I bust. Oh yeah, please.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna definitely bust out my little book and just go through the least fucked up pages and just be like, if these things existed, if we recreated them, how could they move and whatever. Just like getting some, some good camaraderie and like what's it called? Trying to gain some colleagues here of like coming up with engineering problems, trying to solve them in the middle of our essentially fraternity hazing.
Beautiful.
We're like, letting everybody poke and prod my homunculus servant. I don't care. I'm happy that they're impressed with what I built. All that stuff.
Well, you are given a place to stay while you are up here. I'm trying to see if I've uploaded the handout of it. Let me double check. It's like a tiny little place, but everyone bunks together. It's kind of the vibe here. So you would definitely feel a place of kind of a bit of fitting in at the very least.
Oh, the fact that I have my own cot is freaking. That's some first 5-star stuff for Tick. That he's not fighting for the corner of the ground without dung on it is an upgrade from Kobold Living. He's having a blast.
Yeah, I put it in Discord what the general sleeping areas would look like. Yeah, you got your own little cubicle with the bed, a couple of shelves, and like a very small cupboard. But you're surrounded by others, and those that are like-minded. You can see a lot are just kind of consumed with the day-to-day maintenance of the ship, but there are others that dare to dream and try and make things better, different. So you can kind of find all groups there. Let's see here. So we've got Valerie catching up some, not Valerie, Avery catching up with some gardening as well. Does anyone want to work to inquire with any of the factions, or as well? There's also unique items that can be found in the city, such as animals and fruits and things like that. Or you could inquire about some of the other systems and things like that, like the lifeboat hangar and places like that. Anything else? Anything you want to do is up to you. Otherwise, we're going to have about 2 days before we get you all together again, as Rickle will send a message that he's got something that needs your attention.
I might ask
I'm
around to
working
see
on
if
that
anyone else had a weight problem.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. While I'm working on my armor, I want to see if I can, I guess, channel that again. Make my hammer heavier while I'm hitting on the plate metal.
It's you try to kind of bring back that same feeling, but it seems to evade you for the time being. You kind of start to wonder if you didn't imagine it yourself until your friends start telling you the same. They've experienced the same thing. And those of you,
Thank God, I'm not going crazy.
those of you who haven't, and who hasn't actually experienced one of these strange effects?
Cole hasn't yet.
Would there be anything
I
you
don't
would
think so.
focus on once hearing that your friends have done this? Would you try to do anything yourself?
If Ivory told me about them jumping around, I would try to see if I can jump up a building or something. Like if I have superpowers now.
You kind of focus, and you maybe start to think that this is all just a bit silly. What are you doing? And then you kind of feel almost as if something has lifted off your shoulders, that you kind of begin to rise up onto the tips of your toes, almost as if you could run up the walls. And indeed, you feel that your weight has been halved by some kind of effect. So your speed is also increased by 10 feet as you kind of back up to try and get a good running jump, and you can jump twice as far as normal. That includes high.
That's cool. I hope I don't break my back while climbing.
And you guys are welcome. One
I
of the
just-
downtime activities, you can try to figure out this strange thing if you have that in the cards for yourself as well.
Yeah, I think
guess
Valerie'd
Cole-
like to try and figure out.
Cole also try to figure it out. I don't think he has anything to do but eat and wait for the next job.
As you guys sleep on it at the very least.
Well, I can ask you if you're busy and you want to help garden.
Oh, I have so
Valerie.
many things to do. I'm sorry. Oh, I have a job to do.
Valerie would like to.
I
Valerie would love to.
You can do the simple stuff. You can look after strawberries.
She might kill a few plants. Just be worried.
Maybe the potatoes.
I suppose in all of this, that's kind of a lot of stuff to think about or to experiment with. I would follow up on there was a warforge that lived still by the hunters area. I don't know if that's like prepared right now or if we can like get back to it later or something, but that's at least something that Corvix would be interested in pursuing at some point.
Totally. Yep. Yeah. I will have it prepared for our next session. Still finishing off that area for now, but
No problem.
as you guys begin to experiment with the strange after effects, you find yourselves able to use it again this day. It seems to have refreshed with the new day, and as you begin to test here and there, the specifics kind of start to working together. You start to kind of outline the abilities, the capabilities. You find that at the moment you are able to briefly adjust the density of yourself or an object you can see around you. I'm going to share how this works. For now, I'm just going to
Get the
call it
feeling.
power question mark, and there you go. That's what you can do.
and I called Power X on my character sheet.
You can call it whatever you like for now. Yeah.
I am. This is Power X. I'm running with it.
Yep, so you can half or double the weight of something, object or a creature, and then they move faster or slower. While you're lighter, you have disadvantage on strength checks. This is harder to move things.
Oh, good.
That's cool.
And it seems you can use this once per long rest. So yeah, some strange.
Do some testing.
Because as you'd also be able to learn. Welcome back. So here's the handout that was just shared of how your strange frax power works, whatever you want to call it. You're able to once a day adjust the density of an object. And you can learn, especially you would be learning more about the engines, especially you, Tick, with the fixes and how some of them are pretty obsessed with this. Are you back with us, eh?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just double check.
Sorry, I'm just listening.
From what you would begin to understand, they refer to them as bindings, and it's effectively a an alternate version of gravity, pulling it in a specific direction that is chosen by the machine itself, and the amount of directions that can go depends on the facets of the crystal, and there's all kinds of things involved in it. But from what you understand, the power of the engine itself, you can apply multiple iterations of the same bindings. So for instance, if you have if you have like a box on the ground that's filled with goods, and one binding would kind of make it generally half as heavy. You can apply another, and it would generally, if you make it opposing the normal direction gravity was go, the box would then be weightless. And then if you could apply another, and only kind of the bigger engines can do these multiple ones, such as those that govern the taxis that move up and down very often. You can completely, make gravity stronger in upper direction, and that's how these things fly effectively.
Is that in relation to the ship? So you would assume that if you were, for example, like off of the ship, like if you were home, if Tick would have been launched through that thing Homeboy was launched at this morning, or earlier in the session, is it like I'm thinking gravity working? It's in relation to something dense. So is it only like on the ship, or it's like I don't know. I'm trying to understand it as me, not as maybe Tick understands it, but I'm trying to get it. And like, when would it?
I get you. You'd have to point it at. You'd have to use a point of reference. So most likely, there's anchoring points all around the Eragard district. Struts that stick out that you can kind of use to move around and things like that. Generally, so I mean, the ship is probably the most common one, just because of how large it is. Yeah. For instance, the floating gardens would just be like levitating in one spot, pushing up against gravity just enough to constantly stay there, using the ship. Yeah.
Okay, I think I don't want to take the focus off of, learning from the fixers. So I think I'll keep that portion of it to myself until I figure it out more and think of how it could be useful.
Yep, I'm sure there's many ways you could apply it. And as you guys get back to your a little bit of your regular lives again, before you kind of come together for whatever further task Rickle has found, we are going to go ahead and I think call today here, and then I'm going to get everything prepared for what happens during your downtime. We can start with that next time, and then kind of go into any new jobs that require your attention.
Can
All right.
I add one thing for Valerie's downtime?
Oh yeah, anything? What would you like to say?
I think she tried to contact her mother and set up an appointment.
Okay. A private, just you and her?
Yeah, just me and her. Like, we haven't seen each other in a while. Let's go have coffee or something. I don't know. She's try something casual.
Okay, fair enough.
She needs to talk to her.
All right. Cool. Well, I hope you guys have fun. We're gonna see you next week, and
Nice.
just the more we play, the more fleshed out the place will get as well. And I'm constantly making stuff in the background as well, so there's going to be more and more content.
Thanks, it was
Nice.
amazing.
I like a little lore session. Learn some stuff about the world. I will say, not relevant, but I think Tick is going to give his homunculus a taser for teeth, because he can channel his shocking grasp.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
That's terrifying.
Good for keeping the insects.
I
out,
love
guess.
Tick.
He's like
I am in danger.
just sits there with a glowing mouth.
Whatever. The gnomes think it's cool. I don't need you to think it's cool. My new brothers for life think it's cool.
They get his badge and everything.
Well, I want to see your brothers in life help you in battle. That's what I thought. All right.
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for playing, and we'll see you next
Yeah,
time.
thanks.
Colossus.
Adios.
See you next week.
See you next
Cool.
week. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.